Hello, and this is a video presentation that talks about the wars that have occurred throughout the world since 1700 to present day. Here we have the 7 Years' War from 1754 to 1763, which was the first global conflict that was fought in Europe and in America. Next, we have the American Revolutionary War from 1775 to 1782. This was the birth of our country and began the decline of British global domination. Now we are at the Napoleonic Wars from 1803 to 1815, where Napoleon Bonaparte came to power and warfare began to change to a state of total war between entire nations. Here we have the Mexican-American War from 1846 to 1848, which was caused by the American idea of manifest destiny and resentment of Mexico controlling the current states of California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. Now we move on to the American Civil War from 1861 to 1865 between the Union and the Confederacy, in which the Union triumphed. Into the 20th century, we have World War I from 1914 to 1918, in which several alliances have been formed, and Germany was quickly becoming a world power at this point, yet would wind up being defeated for the time being. Moving on to World War II from 1939 to 1945, we saw Germany leading the Axis powers against Allied forces and once again would wind up being defeated. Now on to the Vietnam War from 1962 to 1975, where we saw a struggle between pro-communist forces and pro-democratic forces, with communism ultimately winning out. Next, we have the First Gulf War, also known as the Persian Gulf War, from 1990 to 1991, which was caused by Iraq invading Kuwait, supposedly over oil. Eventually, coalition forces drove Iraq out of Kuwait for the time being. Now on to the 21st century, where we have the war in Afghanistan, which started in 2001, which is also commonly known as the War on Terror. It is still being fought currently around the world today. Now we have the Second Gulf War from 2003 to 2010, which brought about the fall of Saddam Hussein as a dictator and had a democratic government inserted into Iraq. That is it. Hopefully you enjoyed my presentation.